Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make my tiny top version of Elsa, Queen Elsa. So here she is in all her glory with her little cape and whatnot, and this is what we're going to make. Now, I'm trying to make things a little easier, so what we're going to do, I have got sections of the video already in their own little videos. So for the first part of this video that we're going to do, I'm going to put the link in the description, but also as a card, which is the little eye on the top right corner of the video here, to show you where to go to make the head and the arms. They are separate videos. So the head is my Loomigurumi tiny top head with hair part 1. It is the base head, and that is what we're going to start to do this little project, and you will end up with a head like this. As I said, I will link to it so you know exactly where to go. The second part we're going to do is the arms, okay, and there is the part 2, which is the base arms, and again I'm going to link to it so that you can find out easily where to go. And I will link to these 2 tutorials quite often when we're making our little figures, so that you can do these separately and have them ready for your project. So, as I said, the head and the arms. Now, in the arms, I will show you exactly what the layout for your bands are. For the head, you're going to follow the exact instructions, but you're going to use, for the hair, the colour of the hair, you're going to use a lighter tone for Elsa. I've used Mother of Pearl, Rainbow Loom Mother of Pearl, and then I've used the skin tone, and I have 2 of the toy safety eyes. They're a 9mm, okay, and then you're going to use your little stitch marker. Now that could be a C-clip, an S-clip, a bobby pin, a safety pin, a paper clip, or you can use the stitch markers that you can buy from the craft shop, and you're going to leave it at this stage until you are done. Okay, we are going to pick this video up after you've done this point. Now for the arms, okay, you are going to need skin tone, and I'm using also the glow, the glow blue, the electric blue I think it's called. I'm also using clear. So the 4 colours that I'm using for this project are skin tone, Mother of Pearl, the glow, electric blue and clear. So to do the arms, you're going to need a round of skin tone to do the magic ring. You will then do 2 rounds of skin tone. You will do 4 rounds of the electric blue. All right, oops, 4. So it's magic ring, 2 rounds of skin tone, 4 rounds of the electric blue, and then finish with 2 rounds of skin tone. Okay, so that is how you will do your arms. And if you watch the arms video, you will know exactly what to do. All right, so 1 round to make your magic ring, 2 rounds skin tone, 4 rounds blue, 2 rounds skin tone. That is for the arms. Okay, so you're going to pause this video and get these 2 bits done, and then when we restart this video, we're all going to have 2 arms and a head, and we will progress forward with Elsa. I'll catch you back when you're at this same stage as me. So we're back now. We've done our head. We're finishing at the neck here. You've got 18 stitches all the way around. Now we're going to start on the body. Now hopefully you've also done your arms, because we will need those in a little minute. So our next round is going to be a single crochet, followed by an increase. And because we're doing Elsa, I'm changing to a contrast colour of clear. Okay, so I'm going through my first stitch and I'm going to do a single crochet. Now it's a colour change, so I have to do actually a slip stitch, don't I, because it's a colour change, and move my stitch marker to that. I then do a second single crochet in the next stitch, and my next stitch, which is the 3rd stitch, is going to be an increase, and this is going to take us in this round to 24 stitches all the way around. if I don't undo my stitches. Here we go. A little tricky to see in clear. So again, single crochet, increase. So single crochet, and now we do an increase. So 1 and back through the same stitch for our second. We're going to do that until we go around to the stitch marker. 1, 2, and then increase. One, 2, and our last stitch here is an increase. Okay, I'm going to stretch it just out so that it's all evenly spaced. Now, our next round we're going to be changing to the electric blue. We're doing 3 rounds of single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to put 3 little bands here. They're my counting bands of how many rounds I've done. So I'm going to go through the first stitch, move my band through. It's a colour change, so I'm going to do a slip stitch, move my stitch marker, and we will go around doing 3 rounds of single crochet. So you're going to still have 24 stitches. Okay, I will catch you back when you've done 24 stitches all the way around 3 times. So 3 rounds, single crochet, no increase, no decrease. Okay, just single crochet. And I'll catch you around when we've done 3 rounds. So I've done my 3 rounds of blue, okay, and they were just single crochet, and I'm stopping at this point. So my last stitch is here and my first stitch is here. I've just linked this onto it. If you have 2 stitch markers, that's fine. You can have your first stitch here and have another stitch marker holding on to that. Because I've got the lockable ones, I'm just looping this over until I'm ready to start at this point again. At this stage, what I'm going to do is add the arms. Now, the arms you want obviously to be at the same spot. I try and do it so that one of the anchor bands, you've got 3 little anchor bands, is going to be where the hair is. So I'm going to take these off my stitch marker or my holder, whatever you're using, okay, and you need to look here at the neck area, and you're going to see that you've got 1 spot, 2 spot, 3 spot. You can see these little holes, okay, around where the neck is. I'm going to go through this spot here where it sort of is between the hair and the skin, and I'm going to pull my first band through. Keeping it on my hook, I'm going back to the second spot, which is about here, through that hole there. I'm going to take the second band and pull it through, and keeping it on my hook, I'm going back through the 3rd spot in the neck and pulling through. So I have 3 bands on my hook. Take that last one off and you can loop these over like so, and then put this one back and loop it over like so. Just find a little spot like so, and you're going to just link this in with a tie-off band, and I would recommend doing a skin tone tie-off band so that you can't see it. So grab your skin tone, pull it through, and just do a little tie-off like that. Don't do it too tight at first, because you might need to adjust where you're putting the arm. For me, I think that's about right. I have not stuffed the arm. I don't feel they need to be. So I'm going to take my second arm. Now remember, you've done these arms from the other tutorial. There's a link for it. You're going to do the same. This was where we put our first one last time, second and third. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to pull my first band through from the third spot, keeping it on my hook, pull the second band through, and then go through that first area here, and grabbing that last loop, pulling it through, take that last one off, one over the other, pop it back on, one over the other, look for a little spot that I can tie off at, and if you hear a little herd of elephants running past, that's the kittens playing. And tie that off. Again, if you're not sure if it's in the right spot, don't do it too tight to start with. But for me, I think that's about right. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, we're not going to stuff the head, I'm telling you fibs. The next thing we're going to do is the hair, okay? So I'm going to put, I've got some little bands laid out here. I'm going to put those to one side for when we continue the dress. We're actually going to use the mother of pearl to do her hair. I like to do this before I stuff the head. So, going from the top of her hair here, what I want to do is go through, it's almost like a little post that I'm trying to find, okay? And I need to go through that post, which for me is here. So it's just between the skin tone and the colour of the hair. And you're going to take a single band and pull it through and reclaim. Take a second band and chain it in. Then you're going to dig down onto the next stitch. Do you see how this is our next stitch here? Pull it through, single band, and you're going to go through all 4 loops. And then you're going to chain 1. And again, go through the next. Here we are. Pull your single band through all the loops and chain 1. And this is what we're going to do all the way around the head, okay? And then we'll do the braids after we've done the frilly little bit around. Get her arm out the way. See, if you make a mistake, just catch where the last ones were. So for me, that's my chain here. There we go. So I'm going to go through the next one. Oopsie, there we go. Now where you have a bit of a colour change, it might be a bit difficult. Just go through what you can, okay? Again, this is where I say that bands are more forgiving than yarn. Oopsie. And again, see, this is where there was a colour change, so I'm just going through the big lump of it. I'm going to pull that through. Now this is a little different on this side, because you've got, whereas we had the other side, the hair colour, now we've got the face colour. So what I do is go through the two of the skin tone and have the little knot pushed down to the left, and it's sort of, you don't have as much of a bleed through on this side. So if you see how I pinch it and I go through that little spot there, otherwise you tend to get a bit of a bleed through. Push that band down and go through the two little knot loops. Oops, make sure I go through both those loops. Oopsie. Now, holding this, that last little loop here, what we want to do is go through the center of where we are for, let me pull this out, there we go. We want to go through the center of this pair here, so that it looks like we're continuing on. So if you go through, you want to find where the center is, about there, pull. You're going to put the loop on your hook like this, one over the other, so you've got a little slip stitch in that last one, and pull that slip stitch through, okay? And I've got another band linked in here, but I'm going to let go of that and find it. There we go. There it is. Now this is the space on the hair where I came through. I'm going to find a little spot nearby, okay, maybe here, and I'm just going to do a tie-off band so that it doesn't pull and untangle, but so that you still have it like so. Okay, so that's how I did the little frill that goes around her hair. Now, the other thing that we need to do, as you can see, I have this braid that goes around. So what I did, I started sort of about here, and I just chained a whole bunch. I think it was about 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whoopsie, come back here, number 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now you're going to put a stitch marker on here just to hold that and stop it from unraveling. As I said, it can be a C-clip, S-clip, it doesn't matter. Just keep one on there. In the next stitch, you're going to do the same, 20. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, put a little stitch marker, and then let's find another spot. You could even go through the same stitch, doesn't matter. You don't want to go too far away. We're going to do another 20. So you've got 3 strands of 20, okay? Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, whoops. Oh, bless you. Little kitten sneeze. 18, 19, and 20. Again, I'm going to put another stitch marker. C-clip, whatever you have. Okay, so I've got 3 strands, and I'm going to braid them. one over the other, one over the other, one over the other, like so. These are going to go around the back of her head like this, and you're going to come to the front. Now we're going to make them a bit longer, but what I wanted to do first is measure it so that it goes around the back of her head like this. Okay, what I'm going to do is take one of the little bands, the same colour of the hair that I'm using, and we're going to anchor the braid, okay, around her hair at some stage. So I'm going to take one, and holding these together so that they don't come undone, I'm going to stretch it out and pull it down. I'm going to do that again. I want to do this 3 times. 2, and then the third one. 3. Okay, one's going to go at the beginning, the middle, and the end. I just want these to sort of just hang together. You can, if you're having a problem with that, you could maybe use a holding hook. You could just even use another clip of some sort. If you have a pencil, I'm trying to look, where's my pencil? Here's my pencil. Nope, there goes my pencil. You could use another hook and hold these on so they don't come untwisted from what you've already done, because you don't want them to untwist from the braid. So you've got 1, 2, and 3. You're going to go through the back here near the right side arm, pull that band through, and you really want it to sort of just stay on your hook. Go through the second one, the second spot, find a spot, it doesn't matter where, pull it through, and one over the other. You're just linking these into place so they don't go, so the braid doesn't go all over the place. Pull the third one down. There we go, one over the other, and again find a little spot in here just to tie these in so that they don't, so the braid doesn't sort of look a bit odd. You want it to stay in its place. You want to have it stay on its spot around the base of her hair here. So this bit now is what we can extend to come down a bit further. So if you want to take your first one off, you make it as long as you want it to be, okay? It's completely up to you. You will be doing a little bit more braiding with it, so you have to realize that that's going to shrink it up. So if you do 10, it shrinks it down to about 5. So let's see, how many extra did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll take that stitch marker and put it on there. I'm going to take the next one. And we'll do 10 on this one. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put my stitch marker back on. Do it however long you want. This last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oh, fumble, finger strikes again, 9, and 10. Put your stitch marker back on, and we're going to just braid these. Let's put that back. Let's see where I was for the braid. And it doesn't really matter, you can just start again really, because you've got that other band holding it. I might have done this too long for Elsa, but never mind. She's going to have a bit of a braid here. Now, when you've braided it to the level that you want, go through the loops on the end of your bands, okay? Take your stitch markers off, and you basically need to tie these little loops all together with one band. So tie them together, and you can just do one over the other like that here, or take another one which will be closer, herd of elephants here, and tie that together like that. And then this you could actually just wrap around the base here, twist it and wrap it around like that, and you would never know the difference. I've probably done this one just a little bit too long, but you can just smudge it back a bit in here if you want to, because these, they'll just slide it back through. So if you want to, just make it a little bit longer at the back of the neck here to shorten it up at the front. That's completely up to you. Now is probably a good time. As you know, I don't do smiles. I don't like doing mouths on my little tiny tots. It's up to you. If you're going to do a smile, that now would be the time. But also, it's about the right time to stuff her head. I use the 100% polyfill. You can get it from your local craft shop. It is not expensive. But if you don't have this, you can use cotton wool balls, you can use tissues, you can use toilet paper, you could chop up an old t-shirt and use t-shirt material or old material, yarn scraps, anything like that. But this lasts for a long time. It's not expensive, it's very light. I wouldn't wash it or get it wet. I think that would probably clump it and make it a bit ruined. You don't want to stuff the head too much, okay? So put a little bit of stuffing in. The more you stuff it, the wider these little holes will appear. So you do want to give it shape, but you don't want to disfigure, okay? And by disfigure, I mean by pulling these stitches so far apart that you can see the stuffing through the middle of it. You don't want that to happen. So we've done her hair, we've done her face, we've done her arms. We need to continue with her dress. And what we're going to do next is blue. We're going to do one round, which is a single crochet, increase. And so I'm going to pop my hook back on my last stitch here, okay? And this one round is going to be a single crochet. Oh my goodness, kittens, what energy. I'm going to move my stitch marker, another single crochet, and an increase. And the increase on this round is to basically flare out the skirt. So 1 and 2. And let's do that until we get to our stitch marker. So single crochet, and an increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. I can hear hissing going on upstairs. We, some of you might know if you follow my Facebook, we lost our little boy cat who was 21 years old, and he and his adopted sister moved with me from Australia, and we lost Purdy when she was 18, and Baggy was 21. And they're the love of my lives, because I didn't think I was ever going to have children, and so they were my babies. And so we had to put him to sleep, and I'd sworn, I'm allergic to cats, I'd sworn we'd never have another cat. And the house just didn't sound right. There was no pitter-patter of little paws. So we found these two little sisters on an adoption shelter site, and said we'd like to meet these on Sunday. And so on Saturday we went to buy lots of things for kittens to play with. And at the pet store there was an adoption day, and there was this cute little black kitten, and I fell in love with her. And so we brought her home as well. So we have 3 little black kittens, and 2 of them are sisters in the same litter. They don't much like each other. And then there's the third one, who is tiny. She's only 4 months old, and the other 2 are 6 months old. And they're like a little herd of elephants. It's very odd going from geriatric cats to kittens that are into everything. And she's found the pencil that I just dropped. Are you helping, baby girl? Here's our last stitch. It's an increase. 1 and 2. Now, the next 6 rounds, and I've got 6 little bands here, okay, are going to be single crochet only for 6 rounds. I'm just using the blue. You can change up the colours if you like, but I'm just going to do her exactly like this, all blue with single crochet. So I'm going to catch you back when we've all done 6 rounds of single crochet. So I've done my extra 6 rounds, and I'm down to here. This is my braid. I'm going to just anchor it so that it sits in front of her arm here. I'm going to do it the same way that I did the other anchors, the other 3. I'm just going to put a band in here, like so. I'm going to go where I want to anchor it, which is about here in front of the arm, and I'm going to pull that band through, like so. And again, find a little spot to tie it in at. And it really doesn't matter what colour you use to tie it in at. I'm using, I've gone through the skin tone here, so you could use skin tone or you could use the hair colour. It doesn't matter. So pull through and lock that into place with a slip knot. So that just means that her hair is going to be anchored here. Do you have to do that? Absolutely not, but it's just how I want her hair to be. I want it to stay in front. So my next round, what I'm going to do, as you can see, there's my last stitch here. I'm going to pop my hook back through that, take it off my stitch marker. So now what we're going to do is on the inside loop. Okay, so this is the inside loop here, this is the outside loop here. We're going to work on the inside loop, and we're going to do a single crochet on the inside loop only, okay, like so. We're going to move our stitch marker to that new first stitch, and around we go, just working on the inside loop, doing a single crochet all the way around. It changes the direction of your work. You cats are crazy. They're going bonkers. They're beasting their cat tree. So we've now got this going inside. We're now going to do a single crochet, decrease. So through the first stitch, it's a single crochet. Through both loops, move your stitch marker. Single crochet in the second stitch. And now we do a decrease. Now you can do a hidden decrease, which is just through the outside loops like this. And then it's single crochet, single crochet, and a decrease. Single crochet. Whoa, come on you. Single crochet and a decrease. And this is the pattern that we're going to do all the way around till we get back to our stitch marker. And finish on a decrease. We're now going to do a single crochet followed by a decrease. There's our first stitch, single crochet, change your stitch marker. Now I'm going to start doing the decreases in both the loops, I think. So through both loops of the first stitch and both loops of the second, because otherwise I just feel that it's going to not be as strong, I guess, seeing as we're coming to the point where we're trying to close up. Single crochet and a decrease. I don't know if you can hear all this sound on the video, but it's funny. They're going bonkers. And I'm going to go through this last stitch like that, and it's into my first stitch with a decrease. Okay, so this is how my bottom is looking. Ah, I've skipped a stitch there. I can see it. Can you see? So I'm actually going to undo until I go back to that spot. So this is a decrease. It's really important that you don't miss a stitch. It's very easy to just trace back to where that stitch was and to remedy it, but if you can see it, don't leave it as a mistake. Okay, because stuffing will ooze through that and it won't look as nice. And I should have realised that because I wasn't finishing on a decrease, and now I am. There we go, that's a bit better. See, we don't have any. Now I'm going to just hook this little stitch on my stitch marker. My next stitch is right here, but I'm not ready to actually start my next round. What I want to do is, firstly, I want to do a little bit of embellishment on her dress here, but also at this stage we'd want to stuff. Now the embellishment that I'm going to do, rather like I did for her hair, for her frill of hair, I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to just poke my hook through the back here. And I'm just going to see how we worked on the inside loop, so we have this outside loop here. So what I'm going to do is take a single band, and I'm using clear. I'm going to chain 2 and go to the next one, pull it through and through the 2 loops and chain. So I'm doing the same stitch that I did for her hair around the outside of her dress to make it look like she's got this sort of little icy frill on the bottom. You can do this for any of the other princess dresses as well. It really doesn't matter. I thought it would just look rather nice. And easier to do before you've actually stuffed. But you're just going through that outer loop. We worked on the inner loop, and now we're just going through that outer loop. I started at the back so that when I tie off, I can hide it at the back and not at the front. Now this is absolutely not something you have to do. If you don't have the extra bands to do it, don't feel that you need to. This is just a little tweak that I thought would look cute. Now this is where we have the join here, so I'm going to be careful and just go through the next stitch there. See how this is going to just look like that? It's just an extra frill, and once we've stuffed it, it should look rather pretty. Be aware that the clear bands are jelly bands, so they are difficult to tie off and keep tied off. Oops, broken band. I'm going to have to try and get a video of these crazy cats to show you. So like we did, do a little slip knot. You're going to try and pull that through the center here so that it gets hidden in the other. Okay, I'm going to go through the center here, and I'm going to go through a couple of blue bands on the inside, the little blue loops. I want at least two, there we go. And I'm going to use a blue band. I know they're sort of jellyish too, but they seem to be easier to tie off in a tight knot than the clear. So I'm doing that. Now the other thing that we have at the back here for her is going to be her little cape, okay? And it's basically just rows back and forth of the cape. And what you're going to do is lifting her hair up, you're going to be pushing a hook through, and I'm going where I have the clear bands on the back here. I'm trying to show you. Here we go. So here's a clear band here, 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 here. I'm going to just try and go through where I have those clear bands and pull my first one through and reclaim. Don't do anything with it. Go to the next one. You're going to pull it through and add those in and reclaim. Okay. Go to the next one. So you've got two loops on your hook. Pull it through the stitch and add those two. This is how we're doing this little line across. Pull it through the stitch and the two loops that are on your hook. This is an optional part. If you don't want her to have a cape, you don't have to do it. And stop when you get to the other side of her arm. So we started here, we've probably got one more to do right there, and this will depend on how you've done the arms. Reclaim, okay, you're going to chain one, pinch, turn. Now here's your first stitch. Go into your first stitch, pull through, one over the other, and go through. So we're doing our single crochet in rows now, okay, and you're going to make this as long as you want it. And I do like to do this before we've put the stuffing, because the stuffing goes everywhere with your hook, pulling out little bits here, there and everywhere. So it's easier to just do before we do the stuffing. Go in through. Now, is this my first stitch? It is, I believe. There we go, there's my first stitch. Now, I want this little cape to flare out a little bit. So I'm going to do my first stitch, but then in this end one, I'm going to do another stitch. But I'm going to do it so it's an increase on the end. But I'm going to do this one as my slip stitch because I have to add. So it's going through the loop. I'm going to add this to it, and I'm going to chain one. I'm going to pinch and hold, turn around, you skip, skip, and go into the first one. Pull it through, and then we go and do a single crochet in each of the stitches. It can be a bit tricky because you're working with clear bands. And you're not going to want to increase every single time because you're going to get to a width that you're happy with, and then you'll just not increase anymore. So I'll do an increase on this other end. Second last stitch. So here's my last stitch. So I'm going to do, instead of doing a slip stitch straight away, I'm going to do a single crochet in this last stitch, and then back in that last stitch I will do my slip stitch. That's basically my increase. Add my loop, reclaim, chain one, pinch and turn. See how that's widened out now? Skip, skip, and into that stitch. I do hate how bands stick together. And we go back the other way, doing single crochet. Busy playing with mice at the minute. Oops, come back here. Now I don't think I'm going to increase them anymore. I think I like the width that it is now. So if I'm not going to increase it, when I get to my last stitch I just do my slip stitch and chain instead of single crochet and slip stitch and chain. So this is my last stitch here. I'm going in, I'm going to do a slip stitch and chain one, pinch and turn, skip, skip, in, pull it through, and back we go the other way. here's my last stitch, so go in through that stitch, it's a slip stitch, reclaim, chain 1, pinch and turn, skip, skip and in, pull through the 3 loops. So I'm just going to speed through this bit. I've got it on double speed because we're just doing the rows back and forth. There is no increase, there is no decrease, and it would just bore you to tears if we were to do this. You know, it would just make the video so long. So short of putting in music or me singing, which would make your ears bleed, as Izzy likes to tell me, we'll just go through this quickly at double speed and then get on our way with our normal pattern. I'm going to do one more one more row, and then I will tie. As I did mention, jelly bands are tricky to tie off with because they do have the tendency to come undone. So when you do tie off, make sure you do it nice and tightly. So I'm going through that last stitch here, and this is how I'm going to tie off. Do a slip stitch, one over the other, and pull really tight. Okay, so that's my little stitch. I'm going to hide the end of that between these stitches on the inside. Okay, so I'm just going through some of these inside loops, like so, and I'm going to pull it back and hide it under those, like that. So that is how I've done her cape. So as you can see, here she is. Now we could really start doing, her cape's a bit twisted to one side, but that's okay because you can just stretch it to the side you want. So now what we're going to do is put a bit of stuffing, and then we're going to seal up that little opening that we have. So grabbing stuffing, careful to keep your stitch marker out of the way. Again, you don't want to overstuff, you want to make sure that you keep your stitches nice and tight. Make sure she has the right shape to her, but not so that she's oozing out stuffing. Okay, so I think that probably maybe a little bit more. There we go, like so. And now we get to close the bottom. So grab your stitch marker again. We're going to do single crochet, single crochet, decrease. So move my stitch marker. And I'm going to do, you have to push the stuffing down with your thumb. So I'm going to do a single crochet, and I'm going to move my stitch marker to that stitch, and I'm going to do a decrease. Both loops, not a hidden decrease. And then a single crochet. Oops, I'm sorry, my apologies. And a decrease. Single crochet. And a decrease. Single crochet. And a decrease. And the next stitch after this is just going to be decrease all the way around until we can tie off. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker, we don't really need that anymore, and we will just do decreases until our little opening here is so small that we can use a tie-off band and tie this little princess's tail off. Through that last one here, I'm going to tie off nice and tight. We're going to hide that tie-off band inside our work like so, and there we go. Push her cape down. There we have our little Elsa. I really hope you enjoy making her. I really like this one. She's really cute, I think, and you can, as you can see, there's one with the frill around the bottom, one without. Completely up to you if that's what you choose to do. But yeah, it's nice and easy if you have the extra bands to do it. If you like this video, please subscribe and give me a big thumbs up, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.